Hello everyone, and in this brand new video, we are going to talk about graphical user interface GUI with the help of a library or a module called as Tkinter. Now you must be wondering what is a GUI, what is Tkinter, and you will be confused, right? But don't worry, I'll make it simpler. So yeah, we'll go to a program. You must have heard about Postman. If not, just imagine this is a simple software which is installed in my computer. Okay, imagine. Now in this program, I'll just go to the home screen. So you can see multiple things, right? Like a search box, there is my upgrade section, a drop down menu, then the cross button, notifications, invite option. This is the invite button, right? Arrow buttons, the bootcamp link, what is Postman, all the links and all the lists, everything is visible. So this is basically a graphical user interface. Okay, what do I mean by graphical user interface? A user can interact with the help of graphics. Okay, there is a search bar. It helps the user to interact with the software, and there's a button, right? There's a button to close the program, minimize it, or maximize it. So these are considered to be graphical user interfaces. So all the things which you are seeing, if you are able to interfere with the program using graphics, it will be considered as GUI, graphical user interface. Now let's get back to Tkinter. What is Tkinter? In Python, in order to create graphical user interface, we use a module called as Tkinter. Okay. Now you must be wondering what is a module. Don't worry, I will teach you. But first, let's say A is equals to 10, B is equals to 20, and if I write A plus B, it gives me 30. So this is basically command line interface. Okay, this is a CLI. I'm giving commands manually, like I'm assigning the value of 10 to A, then 20 to B, and then adding them and then printing them. So this is basically command line interface. But on the other hand, your calculator, if you have calculator, okay, this is a graphical user interface. So if I say 10 plus 20, which is lot simpler for anyone who doesn't know Python to add two numbers, right? So that's why when creating a software, we must know how to create graphical user interface or GUIs. So I hope you guys are now comfortable what is a GUI. Now, in order to create such graphics or such softwares, we need some modules. But what is a module? So, module is nothing but an already created program or a set of commands or set of programs, whatever you call it. Okay. So, just let's understand with the help of an example. You and your friend both are coding. Okay. Both are writing code for a software which is a calculator. Okay, you both are creating a calculator. So what you guys decided? You guys decided to create it in parts. How? Like friend once said, I'll create a function def add, which adds two number x and y. Just imagine, friend one said, I'll create a function add. This is how he's going to create def add x and y. And friend two said that I'll create a function def subtract to subtract two numbers, x and y. Okay. And then another two persons wants to join, friend 3 and friend 4. So friend 3 said, I'll create one function for multiplication. I'll create one function for, let's say, division. Okay. So these are four different friends creating four different kind of methods, or you can say functions, to multiply, add, subtract, or divide two numbers, right? But let's say there is another guy, there is me. Okay, I am here. I have a project. I want to create a calculator. I want to create a calculator. So what I can do, either I can define all the functions from scratch. I can write add function, subtract function, multiplication, and division all by myself. Okay, this is the first approach. I can write all the functions like add, subtract, multiplication, division by myself, or I can ask for the help from these four friends that please give me your add function. I'll ask friend to give me your subtract function. I'll ask friend to give me a multiplication function, and I'll ask friend 4, please give me your division function. And what I will do, I will simply import their functions in my code. Okay, don't worry what is import, I will tell you. But I'll simply just copy their code into my code, and that's how I'm going to create a function. I don't need to write it from scratch. This is going to save a lot of time, lot of efforts for me, right? It will be really simple for me to create a calculator if I have all the four functions ready. I just need to copy them, import them, and I'm ready to go. Okay, I'm ready to modify the functions according to my needs. So that is what modules are. Modules are already written functions, classes, or program which you need, which can help you to build softwares, build program, build anything specific you want to build. Okay, so these are already pre-created programs from the community of Python. So Python is an open source programming language. In it, you can also create a program and publish it to their official website, and someone using Python can import your code from the website. Okay, so I'll show you how we can do that. So imagine I want to create a program. Here is a simple task. I want to create a program which tells me jokes. Okay, which tells me joke. So what will be your approach to creating such a program? In creating such a program, first you will create a, let's say, a list which contains jokes. So you first create a jokes list which will contain thousands of jokes inside it, right? Then what you will you, if someone says tell me a joke, if someone says tell me a joke, you take an input from the user, and if they say tell me a joke, then you are going to print out any one value out of jokes, right? That's what you're going to do in creating a jokes program. That will be really, really hard. That will be really lengthy, and that's going to take a lot of effort. But there's a simpler version. How? I'll tell you. So you just simply search PYPI, Python Package Index. This is Python Package Index, or called as the official library or official website for the modules in Python. So as you can see, there are 400,000, more than 400,000 modules or projects published to the PYPI index, and there are more than 7.7 million files and 700,000, approximately 700,000 users on the website. So we'll simply search for jokes. Okay, so here this is a module written for jokes. I'll just import it. This is the command. This is the command to install the jokes module into your computer. So you simply run it. It is going to download the module in your computer. And as you can see, the star means it's downloading it. Okay. I'll simply search Joe Python. Okay. PyJokes. Okay, it's not jokes. I installed the wrong module. There might be a possibility that there are multiple modules with the same name. So instead of jokes, I'm going to install PyJokes, which I know how to use. Okay, so this is the model which I'm going to use right now, PyJokes. Okay, so I'll just simply install it. Okay, my package is installed. Now I have to use it. How we are going to use it? Simply import PyJokes. Now I'm ready to use my PyJokes in my program. That's simple. Import pyjokes. That's it. Now I'll just simply write print pyjokes dot get underscore joke, and I'll run it. And now you can see how many programmers does it take to change a light bulb. It says none. They just make darkness a standard. So some of you might find it funny and some of you don't, but it just gave me a joke, a random joke, right? And how many lines of code did I write? Just two. Just two lines of code I wrote, right? First importing the module and then printing out the joke. Now you must be wondering, how did I know that you have to write this set of code like pyjokes.getJokes? So you simply go to their documentation, which is available on the home page, and they've added everything. So as you can see, pyjokes.getJoke, this is the function to print out the joke. Okay. So there is one more joke. Why did the programmer quit his job? Because he didn't get arrays. So basically, this is the module, and you can always learn how to use a module by visiting their documentation, which is the really easy method. Okay. So now let's move back to our topic of our video, which is Tkinter for graphical user interface. Now, what is Tkinter? I hope you guys know as of now that Tkinter is another module which helps us to create which helps us to create graphical user interfaces. So how to install Tkinter? We simply write pip install Tkinter. You can always Google it, okay, because the syntax might be changed. So it's better to Google it always. So it's already installed in my error could not find a requirement Tkinter. No matching distribution found for Tkinter. As I told you that there I got errors. Okay, so I'll write Tkinter install Python, and I guess Tkinter is by default or installed in Python. Okay, this says pip install tk. I'll try it. I'll just write this and run it. Uh, okay, now it should install. Okay, now I'll just simply write import Tkinter. Okay, now I imported Tkinter. Now, in order to create a window, so for example, this program, this whole thing you are seeing, this is basically a window. Okay, this is going to be our root window. This is going to be our root window, which you can see now. This thing. This is going to be our root window. So we are going to say root is equals to tk dot capital Tk, and we'll run it. And it says tk is not defined. Okay, so there is. Let me check with the syntax. Import Tkinter py Tkinter. I'll see the syntax because I'm really not sure what is the syntax is. We'll go to the documentation. Okay, and we are here on the documentation of Tkinter. I'm not sure why it's not easy to understand. Some of the documentations are not easy to understand, so you have to go. Okay, so here we are on the official documentation. Import Tkinter is tk. Okay, so we'll do that. Import Tkinter as tk means we don't need to write Tkinter every time. Okay, now this should run. Okay, now it's running. My bad, I just wrote tk.tk. Now it's running because we imported Tkinter module as the sub name is tk. This is our name, or you can say nickname. Now you can say why I cannot see any window. I just created a root window, but why I can't see? Because we have not added the main loop function in the end. This is required in order to keep every window running. So we'll just say this, and you can see here is our window, which is the TK window. As you can see, this is the window, right? Now I want to add a title to it. So we'll just simply write root dot title my first GUI. I'll run this thing, and you can see the title is here, my first GUI. You can always minimize it, close it, and maximize it. Okay, we'll just close it right now. Okay, we are able to understand that first we have to write root is equals to tk.tk. It's basically creating an object of Tkinter. Okay, we are just creating an object of Tkinter. I hope you know what is an object. In the previous video regarding object-oriented programming, we understood what are objects and classes. And this is to keep a window alive. Okay, so keep a window alive. This program is for. This is to add a title. Now, I want something in my window. My window was empty, right? So I want first, let's increase the size. So root dot uh, let's say first I'll add a label. A is equals to tk dot label. Okay, and text is equals to hello world. What is the label? Don't worry. And then I'll write a dot place or a dot grid row is equals to 0 and column is equals to 1. And if I run this thing, you can see in my window there is a text written hello world, and this is because of a is equals to tk dot label. This is to create a label, to create a label. Okay, this line is to create a label, and then a dot grid. So you just created a label, but you need to tell Python where do you want to place it. So using the grid method, a dot grid, we are going to tell Python that place it on the row 0 and column 1. Okay, so this is the row 0 and column 1. Row 0, column 1. Okay, so I'll close it as of now. And I need to check how to resize the window. That was pretty small, right? I want to resize the window. So I'll just simply go, let's say, in the documentation, label grid, entry grid, button grid, key value entry, calendar, multi-state form. There are multiple things. Let's say Tkinter window size. Okay, and we'll get some of the documentation or some of the websites which will tell us how to do that. Okay. Uh, So here is it. So GUI.geometry, they named their root window as GUI. We are using root. That's really not an issue. So what do? We give GUI.geometry and the size like this. Okay, so we'll simply write here in the third line root dot geometry as, let's say, 400 by 400. Okay, this will be the x-axis, this will be the y-axis, and if I run it now, as you can see, my window is pretty big from before, right? It's kind of good right now. So I can also increase the size and width as per my convenience. So this is to create a label. Now let's create an entry box. Okay, we'll say b. These are just variables. You can name it anything you want. B is equals to tk dot capital E entry. Okay, make sure the E is capital in the label, L is capital. So entry. Okay, that's it. We don't want anything else. And b dot grid. I want to place it at row is equals to 2, but column I want to place it at 1 as well. So we'll see our window. I don't know why there's nothing in our window. Okay, now here is the entry box. Okay, as you can see, I can enter anything in this box. This is the entry box in my window, right? Now let's create a button in my window. C is equals to tk dot capital B U double T O and button. The text on the button I want, let's say, click me. Okay, I'll first close it. Click me, and then I have to place it. So C dot grid, and let's say row is equal to 3, but the same column which is 1. Okay, so if I run it, as you can see, hello world, then the entry box, then the click me. So all the things are working, but nothing happens. Don't worry, I will tell you that also, that why it's not working. Okay, so I think you are able to get what I'm trying to say. Okay, so this is how we can create basic GUI options or basic widgets in Python. So this is really easy to create. You can always head to any of the website or documentation, official documentation. So here you can see button grid, label grid, entry grid. Okay, this tells us how to create calendar button or any other things with the help of Python. Okay, using GUI. So now what I'm going to do, I want that whatever I enter in this, I'll show you again. So I want, let's say, if I enter my name in this Yuvraj, and when I click on this, this hello world should change to my name. This hello world should change to whatever is inside the entry box. So I want to do that. So what I'll do, I'll simply create a function def get underscore data, and let's say a dot config text is equals to b dot get. You might be confused right now what is happening. So I created a function get data. So whenever this get data will be called, whenever this function will be called, it will a dot config, means it will change a, what is my a is my label. It will change a text to b dot get. B dot get means this b dot get is basically used to get the values out of entry box. So whatever was present inside b, whatever will be present inside b, it will get that, and it will change my text to that. Okay, so that's really simple. If I run it, and I'll show you my window. Okay, now if I say anything inside and click it, nothing happens. Why? The reason, we are not calling the function yet. The get data is not being called, so we want to call it whenever the button is clicked. We'll add a parameter as command is equals to get underscore data. command is equals to get underscore data. I'll close it and rerun. Now see, instead of hello world, I'll say I clicked. I clicked, and when I clicked, as you can see, my text changed to I clicked. If I want to change it to, let's say, Yuvraj, I'll just simply write Yuvraj and click me, and my text changed again because the get data is function is being called whenever the button is being clicked. So I hope you guys are clear with the basic understanding of Tkinter. Now let's create a GUI for the jokes question. We just discovered a new module called as jokes. So I want to create a GUI which tells me joke, okay, which tells me joke. So what I'm going to do is first import Tkinter, that is really necessary, as TK, because I want it to be simple and short. Then import PyJokes as PJ. Okay, now I've imported Tkinter and PyJokes. These are the two modules which I'm going to use. Now what I'll do, I'll first create a root window. Root is equals to tk.tk. Okay, it works. Then I'll add root dot main loop. Okay, this will create my basic window, and inside it I will add some widgets. So first I'll show you what my window looks like. So my window is empty. I want my text to be represented here. I want my text, or I can say my joke, to be represented here, and a button to get a joke. And a button to get a joke. So what I'll do, first I'll add a label. How do we add a label? Let's say joke is equals to tk dot label, and text is equals to your joke here, and let's say joke dot place row is equals to 0, but the column should be 2, or let's say 3 this time. Okay, I'll run this. Instead of place I should write grid. Okay, now you can see my window is up here, but it looks kind of weird, so I'll just say root dot geometry 300x 300. I think this should look good. Okay, instead we'll go for 100 by 100. No, it's kind of small. Hmm. Okay, it's fine. Now we are done with the label part. Now we'll get add a button. So let's say button btn is equals to tk dot capital btn. Text on the button is equals to tell me a joke, and then btn dot grid row is equals to 3, column also 3. And if I run this thing, you'll see my program over here like this. And don't worry, now it looks weird. I'll just reshape it. Okay, now, yeah, okay. Now I want, whenever I click on this tell me a joke, I want this your joke here to be print a joke, to present a joke to me. So I'll create a function over here. I'll create a function to def tell underscore joke. Okay, and inside it I'll just simply say joke.config, and text is equals to, I want my text to be replaced with the joke. And in my jokes module, you know how to get a joke? PyJokes dot get underscore joke. This basically prints out a joke, right? Java write once, run away. Okay, so I'll simply copy this code and put it over here. And instead of PyJokes, I'm going to use PJ. Why? Because I'm using my PyJokes module as PJ. Okay, so this is the way to print a joke with the help of PyJokes module, and I'm using that here. Okay, now I'll add the functioning to the button. So I'll just simply write command whenever the button is clicked, please import the tell joke function. Please call the tell joke function. Okay, and now my program is ready. So if I click on tell me a joke, you can see the best thing about a boolean is even if you are wrong, you are only off by a bit. Okay, so there is there are some issues with the size and width of the of a program, but don't worry, you can always make it correct. I'll click on it again. 8 bytes walk into a bar. The bartender asks, "Can I get you anything?" Yeah, replies the bytes, make us a double. Okay, and we'll click on it again, and it again gives us another joke. The best thing about a boolean is even if you are wrong, you're really only off by a bit. And whenever you click, 2 bytes meet. The first byte asks, "Are you ill?" The second byte replies, "No, just feeling a bit off." So I hope you guys are able to understand the basic programming using graphical user interface using Tkinter. And in order to learn more about Tkinter, you can always explore the documentation. It's really easy. Believe me, as of now, it must be looking very hard, but it's easy. And I'll tell you one more thing. I want my button to look good, so I'll just write BG is equals to background of my button. So let's say black, BG for background, and FG is equals to red for the foreground. And if I run it, you can see my button is in a shade red and black. Okay, so I hope you will explore the Tkinter module and create some awesome GUIs with it. So that's all from me as of now. And in the next part, we are going to learn about pandas and NumPy modules. So thank you very much, everyone.